Is this a timely video? No. Is this a relevant video? No. Is it a perfume video? Yes. And I promised y'all a perfume video, and I've been meaning to film this for a while, and maybe one day when the time comes, someone will be looking for something just like this and it can help them. But for now, what I can do is promise you a fair, unbiased, and abject review of the Ulta Fragrance Faves for Men sample set. That's right. You all know that I am a big fan of the Sephora Favorites collections. They have several fragrance collections available right now. They have 0 men's cologne collections available right now. Nor does Ulta have any cologne collections available right now either. I'm a little late on this, but we're going to push through. Like I said, maybe we'll help somebody when the time is right. So I love the Sephora samplers because you can get really great deals on fragrance, especially if it's a fragrance you're going to purchase already. That's kind of the caveat with that, is if it was a fragrance you weren't planning on buying, you're just basically you're buying it for perfume that you could have bought at any point. But if you know how to work the system, so to say, you can save a lot of money on perfume or cologne. More so on perfume, colognes tend to run fairly regularly around $70 to $90, but perfumes vary like wildly. So it's no different with the men's cologne sampler. In fact, I purchased my bottle of Tom Ford Noir from the men's cologne sampler. It was the most expensive perfume or cologne in the set, $65 set. It was a $95 cologne. It's now $105 on the website, so I think I got a pretty good deal. That's the biggest takeaway from the Sephora sampler that there truly is that you do have the opportunity to get a pretty steep discount on some scents. And you also run the risk of having a fragrance you love end up not costing you the total of $65 or $75, depending on what type you buy. But that's kind of the price you pay, and you make up for it in the value of the samples. So, well, whatever. With the Ulta Fragrance Faves for him or for her, both are the same. I just don't have the female one. This is the one I have. I bought it for my son because I didn't think a 16-year-old boy needed a $65 perfume set. With this set, it's $15. It's the same idea. You get 14 or 15 samples. You pick the one you want, and then you get $15 to take into Ulta to redeem towards one of these fragrances. So, putting Sephora now out of the picture entirely, because we are not here to talk about Sephora. We're here to talk about Ulta. We're talking about whether or not the Ulta sampler set is worth it, if it is a good thing to invest in, whether it helps when you're purchasing the perfume or cologne of your choice. So that's what we're reviewing. And there is a very definite kind of backlash that comes from the idea of only getting $15 off your fragrance purchase. But you may want to look at it this way. Unlike the Sephora set, which you get a free bottle, in the sampler set from Ulta, you're not losing any of your money. If you buy a perfume that only costs $62 or $63 from the Sephora set, and it was a $65 set, you are in real value in the functional money in your wallet. You're losing $3. You're not losing any dollars here because you get that $15 back in full. Take that as you will. Some people may see that as economically more advantageous. Other people may not. Other people may like the guarantee of having a full-size bottle anytime they choose. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion, to choose financially. So I'm just going to talk about the product itself from here on out. The sample set comes with 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Yeah, 14. As you see, my son has already taken all of the samples out. So we're just going to go by what's on the box. Of these 14 fragrances, several of them, the majority of them, are the fragrances for men that are promoted pretty heavily in general with these kind of like gift sets, and just, you know, you see adverts and all sorts of things. Eternity for Men by Calvin Klein, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Giorgio Armani Code, Jean Varvatos, although this is a different Jean Varvatos than I've seen in other boxes. The Paco Rabanne Invictus, the Paco Rabanne 1 Million, neither of which I particularly care for, but that's not me. Polo Red Rush. Prada Luna Rossa Black is not one I've seen in a box like this, but the Prada Luna Rossa line is pretty heavily promoted. But then there are some that I think are surprising, and a couple that I think are really nice, that I think are really nice to have as options. And I'll tell you why. So, Jimmy Choo Man Blue. I've never smelled the original Jimmy Choo Man, but Jimmy Choo Man Blue is something that I have not seen in one of these sets before. I haven't seen the Jimmy Choo Man in a set before either, although it could be that it was in the most recent holiday set for Sephora as well. I just wasn't paying attention to it. Who knows? So that's one that would definitely be of interest to me when if I were looking for this to buy. This guy right here, Mont Blanc Legend Night. That is interesting. The Mont Blanc fragrances are not included in these sets a lot because Mont Blanc fragrances are not promoted very heavily because Mont Blanc doesn't really give two fucks. That's not what they're making their money off of. But Mont Blanc has some of the best fragrances for men and women that I have personally tried. Not necessarily quality-wise, they're average quality-wise, but the combination of scent is impeccable. They have somebody amazing doing their fragrances. At least they have been for the past 10 or 20 years. If they were doing fragrances before that, I'm not sure. I haven't smelled Legend Night. I won't get to because, once again, my son ran off with all of the scents. But that would be something I would buy it just for that, just to have that option if I liked it. The Yves Saint Laurent, I don't see that in sets at all. And I love that set for men, or I love that set for men. That would definitely be something that would be worth trying, you know, be worth buying for me. Versace Pour Homme Dylan Blue. I think that this is probably now, it's right here, in more sets, but it was, Dylan Blue's been out for over a year, but it hasn't been showing up heavily promoted by the beauty industry until very recently. There was a female version released, and since then, the masculine version has been more popular and on more people's radar. And what else? Was there anything else? And yes, there was. The L'Eau d'Issey, right here. This has been one of my favorite fragrances since I was in high school. L'Eau d'Issey for the women, that's kind of conical. And then we have L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme, which is the best, one of the best fresh men's fragrances on the market. The fact that it's included in this set is a massive bonus to my personal taste. So you have these great fragrances. There's a lot of great fragrances here. A lot of them that are fairly expensive. A lot of them at $15 isn't going to go a whole lot of a ways if you were going to decide to purchase them. But I mean, if you're buying a $65 fragrance, even with $15, you're still putting out more $50 out of pocket. So that could really still make it feel like you're not getting your money's worth with a set like this, which I think is a false equivalency, because your money is already being spent regardless. If you're gonna buy the cologne, your money is already being spent. So having $15 off plus having the ability to sample some other scents isn't a big deal. But if you really don't want to think about it that way, if you really want something to show for it, in my opinion, it also comes with a travel size atomizer and funnel. This is worth $15 in my opinion. The travel size atomizer and the funnel is worth $15 in my opinion. I've seen atomizers go for up to $30, $40 for an empty bottle. If you have a Travelo, you know what I mean. Most people with Travelos purchase them at discount stores now because they're too expensive. So the atomizer itself is the $15 to me. And then the fact that you get all the samples as well as a coupon for $15 off your fragrance purchase from this selection is only a bonus. So anyway, here's our little atomizer. So this is how it works. You have the jar here, and this is not going to work for a fragrance that you cannot either spray or pour into here. But you put the little funnel in, you put your fragrance in, you remove the funnel, you place the you place the cap back on. It is a screw. It is a screw. Now you have a little spray bottle, something in there. You put it in the bottom half, you put it in the top half, bam, traveled. I think it's great. The funnel alone is priceless to me. I can use this for so many different things. My son didn't want it, so I'm like, hell yeah. That's a very, very useful, and a very, a really kind of not thoughtful as in, oh, they really cared, but like somebody put some thought into that about how they could make this set stand out from other sets without raising the cost. And they decided to include this travel product. And that's really, I think that they made a good decision with that. So this is kind of a short video, isn't it? I would review the fragrances for you, but that's not really what I'm here for. This is a review of the set alone. Just, is it worth it kind of thing. It's $15. When Christmas time comes around, or whenever Sephora, or when Christmas time comes around, or whenever the next time Ulta has this, it's $15. It's worth it. If you're going to buy a fragrance anyway, it's worth it. If you travel with fragrance, it's worth it. If you decant your fragrances to travel, it's worth it, okay? Yeah, I think that if you are taking this item into consideration alone, it is worth $15. It's worth $15. So when it is now fragrance time, February fragrance time, or around the holidays again, and these start showing up again, pick one up. Pick the ladies up if you are a lady and you need a ladies fragrance. They might have, Montblanc has a really beautiful ladies fragrance right now as well. I think that Ulta carries it. I don't know what the name is though off the top of my head, but pick that up if that's in it, or anything. Pick it up. $15. You're not going to really go wrong, especially if you're going to buy one of these fragrances anyway. I really, really hope my son decides to do Dylan Blue or the Yves Saint Laurent. Where am I? I really hope my son decides to do Dylan Blue or the Yves Saint Laurent E. I think those are really good fragrances for a 17-year-old boy. The L'Odyssée. Good choice. His dad already has Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. They could smell the same. There's a lot of good choices in here for a large selection of men, I think. I say this is a good... This gets a thumbs up. This gets a thumbs up from me. Ulta, good job. I don't think that it's, you know, quite on the level as Sephora, but Ulta itself is not quite on the level as Sephora when it comes to more prestige items and fragrance. So, what are you going to do? Anyway, that is my fair and impartial review of the Ulta fragrance faves for him. It's good. I think it's good. I think it's worth it. If you're interested, we have, let me tell you again what we have. If you're interested, our Azzaro Wanted, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Pour Homme, Eternity for Men, Calvin Klein, Giorgio Armani Code, Jimmy Choo Man Blue, John Varvatos Artisan Pure, L'Odyssée Pour Homme, Mont Blanc Legend Night. I feel like it should be Legend Nuit, but whatever. Paco Rabanne Million, Paco Rabanne Invictus, Polo Red Rush, Prada Luna Rosa Black, Versace Pour Homme Dylan Blue, Yves Saint Laurent E. If any of those things sound nice and you want to be reviewed by me on them, that wasn't really a sentence structure. The only ones I don't have are Mont Blanc Legend Night and Prada Luna Rosa Black, and the Jimmy Choo one, whatever that was. I can't find it. Jimmy Choo Man Blue. Those three I don't have. The other ones I can do review for you if you're interested to know how those might make your man smell or make you smell if you want to know for yourself. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this was informative. I hope that this was a little bit more useful than some of the ranting kind of angry reviews I've seen on this set. Just it's comparing apples to oranges, people. Just because it's perfume doesn't mean it's going to be the same. All right, you know, I don't even know if the same company provides these for the two brands. So anyway, let me know if any of these men's scents are something that you would like a review on, and if they are, I will try to do that for you. So leave it down in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, do whatever you gotta do to make me feel like somebody's watching. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Okay, no, bye. For real, I'm going this time.